Welcome to this episode of the Good Conversations. I'm Jen.
And I'm Robin, and we'll be your hosts as we learn and laugh together during the video you're about to enjoy.
We invite you to get comfortable and get creative with us.
Let's begin. Hi, Jen.
Hi, Robin. How are you?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
How are you out there? Welcome to the Good Conversations. We are so excited. We have a huge topic to talk to you about today. I'm trying to make a heart. There it is. Love, love. So, love, first of all, what is love? Intense feeling, emotion that you feel.
It's kind of right deep down for me, inside where my heart is.
Yeah, inside, it's a knowing. But let's talk about the different kinds of love. Um, this morning, Jen, I had the most beautiful, loving experience with our dog, Mabel. We were cuddling on the sofa. Oh, you have a dog too, right?
I do have a dog, yes, and I love him very much. But I also have a husband who I love.
You have a husband and you love him? Yay! You love him, but do you always like him?
Very good question. It's possible to love someone and then have some issues at the same time.
Sure. Love is something deeper than the day to day, isn't it?
And what about places that we love?
Places that bring you a great sense of love, as you say, deep down in your heart. What would that be for you, Jen?
For me, without a question, that would be India. I've been there 3 times and I love it.
What do you love about it?
I love the food. I love the people. I love the simplicity. There are not so many options there.
Oh, that's such an interesting, deep application of love. What brings you true peace, right?
Mhm.
I had something like that happen in Vermont, and I always thought I was a water person, but Vermont has these gentle rolling hills, and I went in the summertime where all those rolling hills were green and lush. I had just this great feeling of love and recognition in my heart. It's beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Mm. When do you feel love?
You know, when I feel love is when someone does something to help me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so when someone picks up my medication.
Yeah, sure. That helps you and makes your life easier.
Mhm.
I totally relate to that. One of the most loving things that my husband does in the wintertime is he takes all the snow off the car for me. I find that very loving.
Yeah, it is. It's very thoughtful.
Yeah. One other question for you, Jen. Why do you love? Why do we do that?
I think, as they say, love is what makes the world go around. So when we give love, we receive it, and it becomes a cyclical phenomenon.
I like that motion.
Mhm.
So interesting. I never thought of this gesture as a love gesture, but that's beautiful. That's cyclical. What goes around comes around thing. What other gestures could you think of to say love?
Love. Well, here's me making a big heart.
Oh, let me try. Yep, I like that. Hearts for sure. What about just offering? Maybe here, Jen. Here's the favor that I did for you.
Yeah.
Hands out. Can everybody do that? Nice. So we've got circle, heart, and
Beautiful. You know what we've just created? A love dance.
Ooh, I love dance.
Can we
Okay,
do it one more time all together?
let's try it.
Okay. Circle. And then we've got a heart. And we've got offering.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. So, Robin, I think now is the time when we can do our visual arts activity.
Oh, excellent. Do you want to explain what we're going to do?
Yeah, we're going to do some collaging.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no real right way to do this. We're just using materials we have at home, and we're going to put together a representation of love.
You're going to see Jen and I, a sped up version of us creating our collages.
Looking forward to it.
Enjoy. Oh, Jen, that was so fun.
I had a good time doing that.
Should we do a little show and tell now?
Oh, for sure. I'd love to see yours.
Okay. Here is my finished work.
Ah.
So I'm showing you, Jen, and I'm also showing everybody at home. There is a flower image happening here.
Mm-hmm.
And one word here says light, and the other says spirit. And my quote is love does not dominate, it cultivates. Isn't that cool?
How beautiful.
Yeah, I thought so too, that it was about growing. So I wanted something living and maybe spreading, maybe some seeds coming out. Let's take a look at yours, Jen.
Sure. So this is mine.
Ooh, wow.
Uh-huh. I have quite a few images from India
Mm-hmm.
as I was thinking about the Ganges. And there's some, for me, like watery image, mountain range, some beautiful Indian jewelry here. And yeah, I have a few words on mine as well. I have one quote that says, I'm always amazed at the abundance of inspiration there is out there.
Beautiful.
And then this word says purpose.
Oh, we talked about that being a kind of love, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So we're going to hold those up. And these collages were done, I guess, with, we had some yarn, we had magazine images, paper, wrapping paper, even. What else did you use, Jen?
Got some yarn as well. These are all from magazines.
Yeah.
Just cut in different shapes. This again is also a wrapping paper, a little piece of wrapping paper. This one comes from a greeting card.
So satisfying to find a new purpose. Just things around the house, very full and less full, little quieter. No right or wrong way. This is collage, everybody. We love it.
Mm-hmm. Super fun.
So, Jen,
Yes.
you know what I really love to do?
What's that, Robin?
I love to make music.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I was wondering if we could maybe try out writing a song about this topic of love, this big topic. What do you think?
Ah, yes.
I'm going to walk you through the steps. Are you ready? And you guys at home, it's much easier than you think.
Awesome.
Okay, Jen, so the first thing when you want to write a song is come up with a title. Now, so far, one thing that we have discovered in our conversation about love is there's so many different kinds, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice if we could just have one thing about love? So why don't that our title, One Thing About Love.
Yes, great idea. I'll make a note of that.
And once you have a title to the song, you take a look at the title and you ask questions. What are the questions about the title? So, what is that one thing about love? Okay, so what do we know about love? That could be the first question. Maybe, what does love feel like?
Ooh, okay. What does love feel like?
Do you want to ask a question about love, Jen?
Yeah. What are some kinds of love that we know about?
Oh, for sure. Okay, yeah. Different kinds of love, some of the things that we've talked about today, what we know for sure, and how we feel about it. All right, so we've got our title and we've got our questions. Now, the next thing we want to do is maybe think about a few chords that feel nice to play on the guitar. So I've got a classical guitar here, C major chord, maybe F major. I really like D. So we got C, F. That's a
D.
D. And maybe we'll do one more. So C, F, D. How about G?
Oh,
Nice. And then if you have a few chords that you enjoy playing that sound nice together and that sound nice when they're repeated in different patterns, you can move on to the next phase of songwriting, which is, I guess, the recipe, how to put it together. So, do you want a verse, chorus, verse, or a chorus, verse, chorus?
okay. Hang on. I'm going to write that down. So verse, chorus, verse,
Mm-hmm.
or
Call that ABA.
ABA. A.
Or you can just flip that around, chorus, verse, chorus. Those are two really common recipes for structuring a song. So we've got our title, we've got our questions, we've got our chords, and we've got our recipe. And then you know what you got to do?
Write the lyrics?
Yeah, you got to get to it.
Yeah.
I'm going to just start roughly talking through, Jen, and you jump in. We're going to just brainstorm. I really like when you said, what does love feel like? It's so big, isn't it? That
Enormous.
talking about love can feel scary. Ooh,
Oh, yes.
that's a good one because it's such a big topic. There's so many types that we carry. We got family and friends, pets till the end, rolling green hills in a bank by a river, and that's one thing about love. Yeah, that's one thing about love. Ooh,
Nice.
that came out pretty easily.
Very nice.
So that looks like a verse. So maybe we can move on and get to the point, which is you sum it all up with a chorus. One thing about love, you can make it appear. One thing about love, it's far and it's near. I think about love, that is why we are here, and that's one thing about love. That's for sure, right? We're all about being for love. That's one thing about love. Ooh, don't look now, Jen. We're starting to have a song.
Oh, it sounds so good so far.
Nice. So, Jen, looks like we got a bit of a song going on. Hold on to your hat.
Yeah.
So, one way to do a song with a friend is to repeat each line. So, let's try that. Ready? Here we go. Talking about love can feel scary. You sing.
Talking about love can feel scary.
Nice. So many types that we carry.
So many types that we carry.
Nice. We got family and friends and pets till the end.
Got family and friends.
Nice.
What's to the end?
And the rolling green hills and a bank by the river.
And the rolling green hills and a bank by the river.
That's one thing about love, yeah. That's one thing about love. Let's go to the chorus. One thing about love, you can't make it appear. One thing about love, it's far and it's near. I think about love, that is why we are here, yeah. That's one thing about love, yeah. And that's one thing about love. Love that.
So beautiful.
Doesn't have to be complicated.
Oh.
Yeah, feels good. And that is something I love.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Robin, it's time to recap what we did today and share some tips. So we did some movements that symbolized love.
That's right.
We had a circular kind of movement, the giving and taking, the receiving, the offering. Oh, there was the heart.
Yeah, those were lovely.
Beautiful.
So, in talking about love, we identified a number of different kinds of love, didn't we?
Yeah, there's the love that you might have romantically, or love that you have for a friend or a family member.
Right, that's for sure. Oh, we talked about pets. I was talking about my cuddle with my dog.
Yeah, there's the love that we have for things in our lives.
Things that we love to do. Oh, and then we talked about places that we've loved.
Right.
Oh, and don't forget the love collage that we created.
That was so much fun.
Using just stuff around the house, wrapping paper and magazine pages.
And yarn
Mm.
and maybe little parts of greeting cards.
Yeah. And then, of course, we took all of that and we made our own little song, didn't we?
I loved that. That was such a creative and enjoyable process.
Yeah, easy, fun, really satisfying.
One thing about love, our new hit single.
That's right, going up the charts. We're going to take it on tour. So, a couple of tips that Jen and I have to expand your enjoyment of this topic is looking at scrapbooks and photo albums of people, places, and things that you and your loved one have enjoyed and loved through the ages. Brings back all kinds of stories and reminiscence.
Yeah, and you can also look for music that you love, familiar music that you can play and maybe move a little around to.
For sure. And then I love to take the idea of love and bring all the old newspapers, wrapping paper, different kinds of materials around the house, get a glue stick, sit yourself down, and just have a really lovely time putting that together in a satisfying personal way.
Mm-hmm. Now it's time for my favorite part of our episode. It's time for me to ask you, what's for dinner?
I know. For some reason, Jen, it's so much fun to find out what each other is eating and making. Okay, at my house, we have some major comfort food happening. We have homemade mac and cheese, all bubbly and gooey and very satisfying for a cold night.
Sounds good.
Yeah, what about you?
We're having spaghetti
Mm.
and meatballs, but not really meat. I don't eat meat, so we're having something called Beyond Meat.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, so Oddly, it's made out of pea protein, which is confusing to me, but it's very, very tasty.
Yeah, I've had those Beyond Meat burgers. Very delicious, very satisfying for sure.
Mhm.
So we're both having comfort food tonight. Yummy. What are you having at your house? We'd love to see your art, your pictures, your photos, suggestions for future episodes.
You can let us know what you're up to, sharing your love activities or love songs, even. You'll find us at www.thegoodconversations.com.
It's been great being creative with you today. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon.
Until next time, take care.
Be creative.